Welcome to the Podkey summary of Prepare Your tvOS apps for Dynamic Type from WWDC 2026. A nice little accessibility upgrade is coming to Apple TV apps with tvOS 27. System-wide large text support. The big idea is simple. Text should scale the way people need it to. And now developers also have a clearer way to show in the App Store that their apps actually support that. A lot of this comes down to avoiding rigid layouts, using dynamic type properly, and then testing like a real human who has turned the text size way up. tvOS 27 brings dynamic type to every tvOS app in a system-wide way, much like people already know from iPhone and iPad. Users can go into Settings, then Accessibility, then Display, then Text Size, and choose anything from large all the way up to Accessibility XXXL. That matters because it puts legibility control in the user's hands, instead of leaving it up to whether an app happened to think about it. There's also a discovery piece here. Developers can now declare large text support in the App Store's accessibility nutrition labels. So if someone is specifically looking for accessible apps, this gives them a much better signal before they download anything. And for developers, that label is public. It quietly turns accessibility from a nice internal checkbox into something visible and accountable. A lot of the trouble starts with hard-coded font sizes and fixed widths. If a label is locked to a specific size or boxed into a rigid width, bigger text has nowhere to go. It gets clipped, truncated, or just looks cramped. The example here was a caption called Sign Up Information that used a fixed font size and a 300-point width. Once that was replaced with the semantic.caption text style and more flexible width constraints, it could finally scale the way it should. Which is a good reminder that the stubborn part of the UI is often one oddly specific number somebody typed months ago. Bigger text usually means the layout has to adapt along with it. In Swift UI, one way to do that is by reading the dynamic type size environment value and using it to change layout parameters. The example was a movie poster grid using container relative frame, where the column count drops from 6 to 4 when larger text is active. That gives each title more room horizontally and helps stop text from colliding with everything around it. Another useful pattern is changing the whole arrangement of views when accessibility sizes kick in. With any layout in Swift UI, you can switch between an H-stack layout and a V-stack layout, moving to a vertical layout when the larger accessibility size category is detected. That same idea carries over to UIKit too. A UI stack view can flip its axis after registering for preferred content size category changes. The practical benefit is straightforward. Titles and labels get the full width they need instead of being squeezed into a horizontal row that no longer makes sense. On the UIKit side, some of the win is very direct. Setting adjusts font for content size category to true on controls, lets them automatically follow the user's preferred text size. But automatic font scaling is only part of it. If the layout also needs to change, the app should register for trait changes using UI trait preferred content size category. That way, if someone changes text size, the interface can update constraints and layout in real time instead of waiting for a restart or staying awkwardly half-broken. The testing advice here is refreshingly unglamorous, which usually means it's the right advice. Turn on large text in tvOS settings, then go through the app looking for anything that was hard-coded, font sizes, heights, widths, all of it. Replace those rigid values with system text styles and flexible constraints, and then verify that content still fits cleanly without truncation. If the app still works when the text is huge, you probably built it for more people, not just for ideal conditions. So the headline is bigger text, smarter layouts, and much clearer signals around accessibility support. It's one of those updates that sounds small until you remember how much nicer software feels when you can actually read it. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.